It's amazing how much we carry from our childhood and we don't even realize. And it's really quite interesting that when you get into business, especially, because I never had these experiences when I was in corporate employment. But when you get into business and you start to do a lot of self development and you are discovering all these things, then you realize that these are things that we should be taught at school or maybe get some support when we're children. And we don't.
Absolutely.
It's just society sets so many rules for us and we carry those age old rules with us.
Yeah, yeah.
And then through the school system and through employment and corporate environments, it's all the same. And then you step out into business and it's just such a different world.
Yeah.
And I've been wondering, why is it so different? I don't understand, but it's so much better, so much more understanding.
Yeah, I think it comes back to respect and responsibility, and taking accountability. Who wants to admit that they've done something that hasn't worked? None of us, right? It's really horrible feeling to know that something that you did has created a problem.
I sort of disagree. I don't know, or maybe just a different personality, but
Yeah,
I've always been the kind of person that if I did something wrong, I'll be the first one to put my hand up. I'm sorry, I've done
and I'm the
this.
same,
And I
but I don't
know
think
it's not the
everybody is.
norm,
Yeah,
but nonetheless, I personally have to disagree on that because I know that there are other people like me who actually
for
take,
sure. But none of us like to be attacked.
oh,
None of
not
us like
attack,
to be
no,
made to feel
no,
like we've done
no.
something wrong. So if we are in that situation, then we will defend ourselves.
That's true. That's
Even if
true.
we do it kindly and calmly, like I teach my clients how to address a conflict
Mm.
in a kind, calm way so that they're still showing love and can show how to repair rather than get into conflict all the time.
Do people feel that that's kind of forced?
At first, it feels forced, of course. Anything that we do that puts us outside of our comfort zone feels forced. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Can't remember the guy who did it, but he said if you look in the mirror and tell yourself every day, look in the mirror and look at yourself in the eyes and say, I love you 10 times, just your mindset will change. And it is such a good practice. And I get loads of people to do it. I do it myself and I still do it myself. Not every day now, because when you get to that point where you're okay with yourself, you don't need to do it. But if you have a bit of a down day, which we all do on varying degrees, right? Some of us get to the point where we literally can't do anything. And some of us, it's just like, oh, really don't feel like doing this today, but I'll do it anyway. Um, but you just might not need a little bit of a reset and to look in the mirror and say, I love you is really,
Absolutely.
really so good for your mental health
It's
and
so
so good
powerful.
valuing yourself.
It's something I learned from a previous guest, Kellen. His episode was out just before Christmas, and he was talking about this exact thing. Just he teaches it to his clients.
Yeah.
Standing in front of the mirror. I mean, he says go for 3 minutes, which is an incredible long time.
Yeah.
And I started doing it, and it is incredible. And I now incorporated it into my teachings as well because
Awesome.
um, it is so incredibly empowering.
Yeah. It's a really valuable tool.
It's a foundation to your emotional health. I now sort of believe and practice
Yeah.
it as well
Yeah.
because it all comes from within. And it kind of, yeah, goes back to what I mentioned earlier, like, the closure of my first marriage was like, realizing that I always wanted him to change.
Yeah.
And it was completely and utterly wrong of me. But it took me a few years after we parted to fully realize the amount of pressure that expectance was putting on him. And it
Yeah.
probably all stemmed from not understanding how to love myself in the first instance and expecting him to make me happy instead of me making myself happy.
Well, as Whitney Houston says, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all, right?
Mm,
So it's really important to find a way to love yourself as much as you can.
absolutely. So if, for the entrepreneurs, business owners, solopreneurs listening, or even, like, as we mentioned, people in management who do need to deal with people and people management in their work as well, they might be feeling some friction at home, but sadly they avoid the conversation because they might be hiding behind things that may feel easier. So, is there a practical action they can take on this week to improve their relational health without triggering yet another argument, either with their partner or at work?
Well, I'd say, and this is going to sound very un-PC, I suppose, in some ways for some
Okay.
people. And I'm sorry for those people hearing this who
Well,
find
my
it
opinion on it is if the
unpolitically
cup
correct.
fits,
But if you greet your husband or your partner at the door every time they come in this week, you will see a difference in their energy. And equally, and this is talking to women, Equally, then for the men, if you say to your partner every single day, what can I do today to make your day better for this whole week? I think they'll see a change in their partner too.
Why was it PC or not PC?
Because lots of people are a bit offended by the the male female role in relationships, and it's really difficult to get people to understand it's not about not being a female or a strong woman by greeting your husband at the door or partner at the door. It's about being vulnerable and in your feminine energy.
Yeah.
And equally for men to say, what can I do today to make your day better?
But it could go either way. So whoever is doing the most at home, the other partner to actually offer the question, what can I help with?
Yeah, I
Because
mean
potentially it could be either way.
should be how relationships work anyway. They should be, the opportunity for you to step in and help out at a time when they're really struggling.
Yeah.
So sometimes you might carry 60% of the weight and they're carrying only 40. And then later on in a few months' time, it might be the other way around. That's kind of a normal process in relationships. But this is a specific dynamic thing for women to greet their husbands at the door when they come in, or their partner, because not everybody's married, right? And equally for the men to say, what can I do to make your day better? Because
Oh, okay. So this is a very, very
it's
specific
very specific.
task you give to
Yes,
people. I
for
see. I
each,
see.
yeah.